The new restrictions announced over the weekend on Russia's central bank target the roughly $600 billion rainy day fund that Russia built to sanction-proof their economy. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze joining us now to talk more about what kind of impact this is having. And you know, Elizabeth, these sanctions, they're already impacting everyday Russians. Let's talk about Putin and if we could see some political backlash here because of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kira. We have seen overnight just how much these new sanctions are affecting the average Russian household. The ruble absolutely crashed just in trading today. That means the value that Russians have for their money has diminished. So they have less spending power. Inflation is going up. And in response, the central bank hiked interest rates more than double. That means borrowing gets more expensive. So really, the economic ripple effects are already trickling throughout the Russian economy. The question of how much pressure this puts on President Putin is still an open one. But certainly, there is no doubt that these sanctions are on a larger scale than we have seen before, especially targeting the central bank, and that the average Russian household will feel some pain from this, Kira.
Well, the sanctions also targeting rich Russian oligarchs. You know, you want to go out to your yacht, may have a tough time now. Let's just talk about the impact of also focusing on the highly rich.
This is a really deliberate effort to target those Russian elites and the people in President Putin's inner circle, including President Putin himself. So going after their properties in international markets, their yachts, even their ability to get into their bank accounts. You know, ultimately, tracking the wealth of these oligarchs is a difficult task, but there are some obvious places to look. And that's what countries like the UK have said. We are really going to start this crackdown here. This is a step that some say is long overdue. I will say the restricting on payments on the SWIFT system. We've heard a lot about this term SWIFT. Basically, this is the messaging system that makes you, if you're making a payment from one country in a bank to one bank in a country to another, it facilitates that payment. By cutting that off, it does get more difficult for oligarchs, for businesses, for average people to make those international payments, and that could have some significant effects.
And Switzerland announcing today it's joining the U.S. and the EU on these sanctions. What economic impact will that have?
This is a big move economically. It's estimated that about $11 billion of Russian assets are stored in Swiss banks. And previously, the Swiss had been, notoriously neutral on whether they're going to target or freeze those assets. They are now coming out and saying we are going to take that step. We stand in lockstep with the U.S. and with the European allies on this. Importantly, it's also a symbolic move just to show that this coordination is really happening on a global scale, and that as these countries are taking these really big steps at the same time, the effects will be felt more largely across the economy and across the Russian economy.
By the way, Elizabeth, my producers draw it to my attention. You've been talking about the rubble and what the troops are doing to this country. Meanwhile, we're talking about the Russian ruble. So forgive my I misspoke at the beginning of our segment. But it all comes together. The ruble and the rubble coming crashing down at this time, definitely. And we're following it all. Elizabeth, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.